Hey guys, welcome to the new Rachel's English mini-series, Interview a Broadcaster! Hey guys, I'm here with Julia Boorstin. Julia, can you tell my audience a little bit about what you do?
Well, I'm a reporter for CNBC. I'm based in Los Angeles, and I cover media, internet, and social media companies.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me here at Rachel's English. You may or may not know that another term for the standard American accent is broadcaster English. So people all over the world are looking to the people in America who deliver the news as a standard for American English pronunciation. So I'm curious, where did you come from, and is there anything that you had to change about the way you speak when you became interested in this profession?
Well, I grew up in Los Angeles, and growing up, my mom was from Seattle. She was an English teacher before I was born, and my dad was from Chicago, and both of them were determined that I was not going to sound like an LA Valley girl.
Okay.
So my whole life, they were obsessed with this idea that I enunciate and I pronounce things properly and fully, and I not use the word like.
That's a habit that a lot of people have. So how did they get you to break this habit?
Well, my mom decided that the best way to enforce this would be to have my little brother to count all the times I said the word like. So when I was 13 years old, we'd be driving around, and my 8-year-old brother would be counting 12, 13, 14, and it was really annoying, and it really did the job. It really encouraged me to stop saying the word like. The other thing that was a pet peeve of my parents was the upward intonation, and when people
typical
talk like
in
this,
California.
Very typical of Southern California. People talk like this, and they say that this is what I'm going to do. And it makes everything sound like you're asking a question, and it makes you sound really unsure of yourself.
Right, so the voice goes up in pitch at the end, and it makes it sound like you're asking a yes/no question.
Even if you're not asking a question, you always sound unsure of yourself.
Right, it's a good point.
So my parents really encouraged me to not adopt that habit, and I'm really glad they did, because it has helped me.
Intonation matters. Notice how Ms. Boorstin says, when every sentence goes up in pitch at the end, it makes you sound unsure of yourself, because it makes you sound like you're asking something rather than making a statement. So, for example, the phrase, I'm going to the store, going up in pitch, makes it sound like you're asking permission. I'm going to the store, but I'm going to the store. Going down in pitch sounds like a statement. Generally, the only phrases that should go up in pitch are yes/no questions. Check out these videos on intonation and questions. So when you're preparing a text to read on camera, do you have any tips or tricks? What do you do? How much time do you take with the text?
Well, you like to take a lot of time if it's possible. Every once in a while, you have to just grab a script and go with it.
Yeah.
But I like to take a little bit of time to read through it at least once, usually twice, and read through with a pen. And I try to circle the words that are most important in each sentence and just really try to think of what's the idea I'm communicating here. And every once in a while, you'll find yourself emphasizing a random word that's not really what the sentence is about.
Right.
So to just figure out what the key thing is.
That's a great tip. Look for the key, circle it, and then go to it when you're speaking.
And I find it really helpful. And I also like to read things out loud. And you can hear something, you're like, oh, that doesn't really make sense if I say it that way. What if I put the stress on the name of the person who I'm talking about? Maybe that would work better.
Awesome. Thank you for that tip. I love it. Great tips here, guys. If you're preparing a text for a presentation, circle the most important words and practice stressing them. Practice reading out loud. So what do you do when you're preparing a text if you come across a word that you're not sure how to pronounce?
Sometimes, especially with foreign names, it's really hard. You just don't know how to say it.
Right, you have no context.
So I really think it's important just to call someone. I usually call the CNBC news desk. We have lots of very smart people who speak many languages, and it's just the best way to get a quick answer. And you can look something up online, and you'll see the phonetic explanation of how to pronounce a name. But it's just different. You just have to hear it in your ear. So I always try to go for that solution.
And for my non-native speakers out there, as you know, a lot of online dictionaries have a little icon of a speaker that you can press to hear a native speaker saying the words. So if the phonetics don't make sense to you, that's a great option for actually hearing it so that you can then repeat it back.
I didn't realize that. I'll need to check that out.
So are there any words that are particularly hard for you to pronounce in American English?
I don't think that I have any funny words, but my husband thinks that I pronounce the word experiment funny, and he thinks I always say experiment.
Experiment,
Experiment instead of experiment.
Right, so you're sort of mixing spearmint gum with experiment.
But think about it, experimenting is so exciting and refreshing. It's
It is.
like experiment.
It is like spearmint.
I'm very, very conscious of that.
The word experiment has the e as in bed vowel in the stressed syllable. Experiment. Da-da-da-da. Experiment. Experiment. Ms. Boorstin admits that sometimes she puts in the e as in she vowel instead. This is not an official acceptable pronunciation, but I'm sure she's not the only one I've heard change the vowel this way. All right, well, thank you, Julia, so much for joining me here. Follow Ms. Boorstin on Twitter and check out her segments on TV or online for a great example of American English pronunciation. That's it, and thanks so much for using Rachel's English. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe. Either click here or in the description. But don't stop there. Keep learning with my American English in Real Life playlist, my Ben Franklin playlist, or my Word of the Week series. Click on me to check out my channel where there are hundreds of great videos. Don't forget to visit my website where you can learn about my premium membership and online courses.